top of the stretch in the Kentucky Oaks.
Go Power!
Go Power!
Hit it!
Rags to riches has kicked it into high gear.
Abel Tasman's roaring down the center of the track.
Desert Dawn has won the Santa Anita Oaks.
Turner loose for the Bonjour. Eugene Ring. Nest much the best here. But here's Kathleen O, budding superstar, Secret Untitled Chapter. And go ZULU. A killer cast of fillies.
Courtland Simmons with you here at the CS Racing Report, and as the great Jack Whitaker once said about the Kentucky Derby, you could say the same about the Oaks. It's the Kentucky Oaks. The volume is turned all the way up, and everything's in capital letters. 14 horses as you look at the field. And the main question is, who do you look to in order to be able to sort of shake up the Supeefecta? Well, there's a few horses, the 3, the 12, the 5, and the 14. Hidden Connection, Goddess of Fire, the number 12, Candy Raid, who won the Bourbonette very impressively on synthetic after mixed results at the fairgrounds. Was impressive in that race, but some will dismiss that form. The 3, the 12, the 5, and then the 14, Turnerlooze, who won the Rachel Alexandra. Won that race in a race in which she was either outrun or she kind of stalked and pounced and re-rallied and beat Goddess of Fire in the shadow of the wire. That strategy, the reason I think that that is going to be what Brad Cox employs coming out of the 14, where she will have to show some speed and be used a little bit, is based on the Fairgrounds Oaks, where she went toward the lead and got dismissed and swatted off by Echo Zulu in her first start back since her 2-year-old championship campaign. It was not a good performance, and I think they're going to have to readjust. I believe she can get the trip, but in order to basically have a better shot at doing that, I think pulling back in a race in which there's 7 horses or 6 other horses like her that like to stalk and pounce are present in this field, and you're going to see a lot of stalking and pouncing behind Echo Zulu and Yuri Girl when you look at the pace scenarios you see there. So I think that's going to be really key. And Secret Oath, it's very imperative she be one of those horses, simply because in the Arkansas Derby, where she got a 9-furlong run against males, she was pinched back, and I think it's going to be more imperative. It's going to be very important for Wayne Lucas's charge to run the same race she ran when she drilled Yuri Girl in the Honeybee, where she was stalking, pouncing, kind of had to check, and then just exploded once she got a seam on the inside. That's going to be, I think, in most people's minds, the key to her success. Well, she'll be in tandem with Nest, VENTI, Valentine, Nostalgic, a number of horses, as I aforementioned, that have that stalk and pounce style. Kathleen O, one of the win bets that I have here, has proven on a track that has bias towards speed, where the short stretch favors the front-running types. She has gotten really good at perfecting her run there. You would think with the attic ground and the longer straight at Churchill, it should suit her fine. She's got targets to shoot at, but she's shooting at, theoretically, more talented targets in order to win from off the pace. But, so that's a question. Sometimes we get caught into the trap of come from behinders, appreciating the added ground. She may end up appreciating it, but will she be able to run down theoretically better horses? She is very interesting. That's why I think she possibly could. And it would probably, I wouldn't say it would be foolish to dismiss her as a win bet, but I certainly think a lot of you are going to certainly key her in because of that kick and the added ground. So that is something that you have to look at, along with the New York pair amongst the value horses and bouncing back to them. When you look at that pace scenario, VENTI, Valentine, and Nostalgic, who edged her out in the Gazelle, a race in which Secret search results used in 2021 to run very well in the Kentucky Oaks against Malafat, where she ran kind of a slow number, got the 9-furlong experience, came to Churchill. That surface was kind to her after running on the deep, tiring type of ground at Aqueduct. That's the question. Will that benefit these 2 New York horses? That's going to be key in terms of whether you determine they're going to be useful, simply because their buyers are a little bit, like a lot of the field, on the low side. Same thing with when you go to the opposite coast, all the way to the far left in California with Desert Dawn. Impressive in beating Adore Manor in the Santa Anita Oaks. But is she a Bellafina too? Is she not fast enough? That buyer is a little bit on the light side. She is on the improve, but the buyer's a little bit light, although the Equibase looks good. Do you think she can jump in and make something happen? Or, as I aforementioned, is she a Bellafina too? With all of those factors sitting at your desk, here are the picks that I think could end up being part of the Kentucky Derby in Kentucky Oaks lore. The third pick, and possibly my top pick, would include the top 4. The 10, the 4, the 1, the 7. Kathleen O, the number 4. That would be Nest, the 1. Secret Oath, and the 7th. Echo Zulu. All your favorites, and you can mix those and toss those like a salad in different varying numbers. But I have 10-4-1-7 or 10-4-7-5, where Goddess of Fire, who has good speed figures, stamina a little bit of a question, she jumps into the end of that Supeefecta. 10-4-1-7, 10-4-7-5. The number 2 pick would be Nest, and I think she's arguably, for a lot of you, the top choice. 4-7-10-8. Where, of course, she beats Echo Zulu and Kathleen O in the number 8. VENTI Valentine, one of the New York horses, getting in the tail end of that Supeefecta. Or you could go 4-7-9-2 with Desert Dawn in there and Nostalgic. Or you could go 4-7-10-8. 4-7-2-8. But my top selection with Nest on top is 4-7-10-8. And then the final pick, my theory is until you've been to throwing, you're still the champion. And even though Echo Zulu, that speed figure is questionable, along with going in 9 furlongs, even though she's by Gun Runner, keep in mind with the rain, that rain is supposed to suit her along with Nest very well, that because their sires ran well on the off-going. So I have the 7, the 4, the 9, and the 10, or you could go 7-4-8-10 or 7-4-8-2, but with Echo Zulu on top. Very, very tepid choice because I think it's a balanced field. We're certainly going to recap the Kentucky Oaks along with the Derby and all the other big stake races right here at the CS Racing Report.